Hello and welcome. Well, we are now at the final stretch of this counting day. All the results are in, barring one seat in Gujarat, but the picture is completely clear. It's a big sweep, a historic win for the BJP in Gujarat. The Congress has done well in Himachal. It's had a decisive win in Himachal Pradesh. And, well, the AAP, it's made kind of an underwhelming debut of sorts in Gujarat. Vasu.
That's right. I coined a word for this. No one's thought of it before. Tsunamo.
No one thought of that.
No one, literally
Amazing.
no one has thought of
You're
that
a
till
genius.
today. Yeah.
So can we look at the latest results actually first?
It was actually Dorab. Dorab came up with it 5 minutes before we went on air.
So let's look at the results. These are the final results that are on air. And you can see there in Gujarat, Vasu, almost all the seats are counted, but 156, no party has had this kind of majority in the Gujarat Assembly. It's quite incredible.
Yeah, 149 was the previous record, Congress record,
in 1985. Yeah, so 27 years in power and 156. And the final tally in Himachal Pradesh, where it was quite a seesaw battle for much of the day. A lot of seats were very, very close. In the end, the Congress has pulled it off and won decisively with 40 seats to the BJP's 25. The vote share, of course, very interesting as well, Vasu.
Right. So at least there was something for the Congress to take away from otherwise what has been a complete debacle for the party. Dorab Sapariwala, of course, is here with us looking resplendent in his red kurta. Dorab, now tell us, of course, only in Gujarati, what is the implication of the vote share? Because if you, let's start with Gujarat, where again there was a question we were raising in the day about whether the BJP's vote share may not have gone up, but there was a massive surge in their seats, but the vote share also has gone up. 53% vote share to the BJP.
When you have one party...
Up from, it's 50 has gone up to 53%.
One party that's very new, the traditional party decides not to contest, the voter has to ask himself, who do I go for? And he goes for the party that is in power.
Yeah.
And it's not that the BJP is an unpopular party, it's just that the 50% plus hurdle is crossed thanks to also the fact that there was no opposition. There's this TINA factor, there is no alternative. So
right.
you drive
and you made an interesting point. You were saying that the vote share of the opposition is about 40%, but they've only ended up with something like 20 seats.
Correct. So, that only happens when there is,
there's a division.
Yes, that's right.
All right. Well, joining us first on the program tonight is Senior Congress Leader Sachin Pilot. Sachin, thanks very much for joining us. And, you're joining us, firstly in the context of Himachal. You actually campaigned extensively in Himachal, more than 20 rallies that you did there. You must be quite pleased with how it's turned out on what has otherwise been a difficult day for the party.
Yes, it's a mixed bag, but I think the results in Himachal prove two things from my point of view. One, that the notion that the BJP tries to build up, that in the northern part of India it is undefeatable, that notion has now been put aside. The fact that you can defeat BJP and the double engine theory that the BJP propagates, that doesn't work very well when we contest elections with a full vigor. I'll come to Gujarat in a bit, but for Himachal, I must tell you that the effectiveness of the campaign to connect with the people, to start electioneering much before election dates are announced, all these are takeaways that we have learned from Himachal. And I think Himachal has shown that despite the efforts of the Prime Minister, and Mr. Nadda's home state is Himachal, so obviously you can imagine how much effort he must have put in. Everybody from the top to bottom put all their efforts and resources in Himachal, and yet he prevailed. So it's a sign of things to come. With all humility, I must say that if we can do it in Himachal, we can very well do it in other states in India, and northern parts of India, which are very...
In fact, that's what I wanted to ask you, because it almost seemed like in these assembly elections, Sachin, the Congress was running two very different campaigns. The one in Himachal where other leaders, your own leaders from Himachal, from different districts who have their spheres of influence, Priyanka Gandhi, there was a more organized, sustained campaign for some time. But Gujarat, it was the complete opposite, where it almost seemed like the party gave up even before the fight began. So, there were like these two different campaigns in this election.
No. It's not true. See, don't forget that we still have almost 28% vote share in Gujarat. But it's true also that the vote of the opposition got divided, and then we had MIM and Aam Aadmi Party all, dividing the opposition vote. So the Congress party was fighting against the government of India, the state government, and these fringe players who actually ate up a lot of the vote share that the Congress traditionally got. But I think we have to go back to the drawing map and start from scratch. But I must tell you, I also campaigned in Gujarat. It's the Gujarat Congress is still present and alive. But in the last few years, we had reverses. We had people leaving the party, joining the BJP, and all that. I think took away a lot of the the gusto that we should have had going into the campaign. We did the best that we could. Of course, it's way below our expectations. No one can be happy about this result, certainly. But I think the Congress party's presence in Gujarat can't be written off just with one gloss. I think the candidates, the workers, the voters are still there. And I think we can build in from here and build up to the 2024 Lok Sabha elections.
Of course, the Gujarat campaign, the man in charge was Mr. Ashok Gehlot, your friend. And anything you'd like to say on that? Do you think he was distracted by something else that might be going on?
He's really frozen.
Sachin, are you pretending not to hear me or you genuinely can't hear me?
I think it's not one person is responsible. Hear you. I'm saying that no one person can be blamed for a victory or for a loss or be given credit for a victory. We all play our part. So I don't think it's right to say that one person alone is responsible for one state or the other. It's a team effort. The state unit has to put a lot of effort in, and we all contributed. I went to campaign in Gujarat, and Mr. Gehlot came to campaign in Himachal. So I don't think it's about individuals. It's about every state having a different landscape, different political realities. And Gujarat, we have been losing for many times. We did pretty well last time, but this time our numbers are way below what we expected. So it's time for us to really do some chintan, think about where we want to go in Gujarat. Start from scratch, go back to the drawing board. But like I said, we have almost 28% vote share in Gujarat still, despite
But if there was a lesson for the party from the Himachal campaign, what would that be? What did you all do right in Himachal that you got so wrong in Gujarat?
I think you can't compare the two states, right? Himachal is a much smaller, it's a hilly state. Gujarat is a different sort of a political landscape. And both states traditionally have been a two-party state. The Aam Aadmi party tried to venture into Himachal, didn't find much success, and then put all its efforts in Gujarat, which ended up dividing the opposition vote. So that's why the numbers, I think the 150 plus numbers don't reflect the effectiveness or delivery of the BJP government. It reflects more on the political reality of the state and how the numbers and the opposition vote got divided. That's what the number reflects. It's not some great achievement by the government. I'm not taking away from the fact that BJP won the election. Congratulations to the BJP for that. But the numbers themselves, don't forget, Congress party got 149 back in the day. So it's not that Gujarat has not seen one-sided results before. But like I said, we should take, learn some hard lessons from the Gujarat loss and move forward and prepare for ourselves well in time for the Lok Sabha elections.
Dorab has a question for you, Sachin.
Mr. Pilot, congratulations on your victory in Himachal. But there is a cautionary tale there, seems to be. You are just 0.7% higher than them in votes. And there were a number of rebels. There are 8 or 9% votes have gone to people who are essentially your rebels and more the BJP's rebels. So if the rebellion had not been there, it could have swung either way. So I'm saying it's a great victory, but a very fragile one in terms of votes, because in the final event, it is the votes that make the victory and not the seats. The votes lead to seats. So it really is, with 0.7% increase in votes, you've won 15 more seats, which is a phenomenal performance. But it's because the BJP rebels have taken away a hell of a lot of their votes. If the rebels had not been there, you might have a slightly different result.
I take your point, Dorab. I think it's fine for people like you to dissect the results, etc. But don't forget the might of the power and the machinery that we are fighting.
Yes,
no less than the Prime Minister was calling. Hang on. No less than the Prime Minister was calling and asking those rebels to withdraw. So it's not that the effort wasn't put in. I mean, you have to give credit when credit is due. That we had rebels in the Congress party. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but apples to apples. Every state, every party has rebels. You can't say that the government did not win the election again because of some rebels. I think that's maybe one aspect of the elections. But our promise to the people, it's an apple-growing state. We had some local issues which you touched upon. We had a good manifesto. We had a good campaign. The strategy and the people, you can sense the enthusiasm and the cadre. if you go with the right message and with the right strategy. So the BJP did everything it can. Can you imagine the Prime Minister in a small state? How many times he had rallies in Himachal Pradesh? The Defence Minister, the Home Minister, the UP Chief Minister, everybody was there in a small state, putting all that they had, and yet you were able to defeat them comprehensively. It wasn't a nail-biting finish. It wasn't a neck-to-neck. It was a very clear mandate to oust the BJP government despite all of their efforts. So it does say something about how the Congress has a resounding presence even in that state and other parts of India.
Sachin, just looking ahead at next year, because there are crucial state elections now coming up just before the Lok Sabha elections, including Rajasthan, where you're from. And the Congress is in a bit of a difficult situation. We have this, unfortunate situation between you and Mr. Gehlot in Rajasthan. Are you all going to be able to put on a united front before assembly elections? That's the question.
Have you not seen recently all the pictures that come out of Rajasthan with the Bharat Jodo Yatra and all the statements that are being made by the leaders and all of us? So it's fine to have some difference of opinion, how to approach things, how to accomplish missions, and how to, whatever. But we all are contributing towards achieving a common objective, which is to get the Congress back into power. And it's the true and the undeniable fact that we all want to win that election. So I can tell you with full humility that in the next 12 months, we will approach the elections much before in advance. Our preparations are already on the way. The Bharat Jodo Yatra is going through Rajasthan as we speak. So all these factors will help us. We'll fight unitedly, and we have to. I don't think any one person can swing the state. It's just not possible. So we have to work together. We have to win the mandate. And 12 months' time, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh all go to polls. And we have to win these three crucial states for us to be able to be in a good position to mount the challenge in 2024 Lok Sabha elections.
Although Mr. Gehlot called you a gaddar, he called you a traitor, he used some very strong language. Are you over that now? It's like bygones?
No, I know, Nidhi. I think you can try as hard as you want. You will not get me to get provoked. I will not do that. I've already reacted as whatever I had to say about that. And we have to move on. We have to look ahead. It's... I can't control what other people do and say. I can only say what I feel and what I do. And I think we all have to work in the interest of the party, and we have to move forward. We have to work together. And I will say no more than that on this.
All right. Have to leave it at that for the moment. Sachin, thanks very much for joining us from a moving car, no less, as you go back to the Bharat Jodo Yatra from here. Thanks very much, and congratulations for the win in Himachal. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Vasu.
Okay, Sachin Pilot there. The thing that surprises me is when the Congress says that they're surprised by what happened in Gujarat, because it actually surprised virtually nobody who was there. They literally threw
Did you
that
expect
election.
it to be this bad in Gujarat? Really?
I mean, I don't know. It was just an election. Like I said, we've been saying this from the morning. They literally sat this election out. And remember, this election comes at the culmination of 30 years of defeat. So this is not something that's happened overnight. This has been the steady collapse, the implosion of the Congress in Gujarat.
This is also despite the last time
So
they did better.
This is despite
Exactly.
them doing
Last
better
time
last
they
time.
did
P.K.D.
much
Nambiar, political analyst supports BJP. So this is on the back of all that. In fact, Nidhi, we can just go back to those graphics with Dorab if possible.
Organizational collapse and the leadership collapse.
Because if you look at
There is no
the
leadership.
Gujarat picture through regions, Nilanjan Sarkar is also here with us, cephalogist, political pundit, CPR, Bhaskar Ghosh is also with us, BJP leader. You'll get a sense of the scale of the BJP victory, because Dorab, the BJP and the Congress typically had certain areas of strength in Gujarat. But this time the BJP is just knocked down all the
160
walls.
seats.
So yeah, so if we just look at central right now, just look at that again. 44 BJP gain of 17, right? So this is again used to be a kind of Congress area.
Correct.
They had
The
presence
Congress
there,
had
you have
18
leaders.
seats, now they're down to 3.
Yeah.
So, it's just given up, nothing else.
So the BJP
So
is
from
done-
central, if we just keep quickly going through all the different regions, and then we can just
Saurashtra,
go through
South,
each of them.
Saurashtra.
So now we looked at central. So
Saurashtra
again,
where
look
the
at
Congress
North
did well
Gujarat.
last
Look
time.
at that.
North
Wipe out.
Gujarat again.
Was
37.
competitive, no long. Last time, overall they were competitive. So
Yes.
almost every region was competitive, and they were doing very well in Saurashtra.
Yes, because if you
Now
look at
everything is
people like
gone.
Bharat Singh Solanki, these are all their regions, right?
Yes.
So Congress stalwarts, they used to hold their own here. That's Saurashtra.
That's a disaster.
This is actually extraordinary.
It was
48 out of 56.
It's the Patidar thing that brought them so far, and now the Patidar thing is gone and the Congress collapsed. So the BJP's claimed the whole
Nilanjan, quick comment on Saurashtra. I mean, that was a kind of almost pivotal moment in this election, right? That the one region where you'd taken a hit last time, complete sweep.
So this is one place where we did see a fair amount of vote splitting. So if we look at where the Aam Aadmi Party got more than 10% of the vote share, it is disproportionately in South Gujarat and Saurashtra. In about 70% of the constituencies, they got more than 10% vote share.
Right.
Whereas only about 30% of the constituencies in Central and North Gujarat.
Right.
So this is a situation in which obviously BJP was strong and would have won a number of seats.
Sure.
But when I sort of tabulated these numbers, if you just added Aam Aadmi Party's vote share and Congress's vote share, that's not how Gathbandhans work, but let's assume for a second that that's what would happen. That combine would have won 30 seats in Saurashtra.
Right? Aam Aadmi Party and?
Aam Aadmi Party and Congress.
Right.
So they really split each other's votes down to the seat level, right?
I see.
And I mean, it still, even had they joined forces and we added their vote shares across the entire state, they only would have won 60 seats.
Yeah.
It still would have been a sweep for the BJP. That's a separate thing. But Saurashtra is really where you saw the vote splitting have its teeth.
Interesting. So the suggestion that that this huge landslide in Saurashtra is also because they managed to douse Patel anger, which is what had singed them last time, by getting that 10% EWS reservation, by getting people like Hardik on board. It's not just that alone. It is where you've also seen this splitting of the votes.
See, AAP also was pushing in Saurashtra very hard.
Yes.
And at the same time, the Congress was getting weaker. So I think, a combination of those two things.
But Nilanjan,
But
if you have to give your assessment of how the AAP, how the AAP has done in terms of the dent it has made in Gujarat. I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag, right? The vote share is decent for a party that's contesting on this scale for the first time in the state. But it's not really translated into the kind of victories that they had hoped for. So AAP still has a while to go before it becomes the Modi versus Kejriwal battle.
I think that's right. I mean, there are two versions of what might happen. We know that the Congress party is quite demoralized in Gujarat. One story is that Saurashtra is Aam Aadmi Party's Malwa as it was in Punjab, right? So Punjab 5 years ago, it looked like Aam Aadmi Party was not doing well. If you looked at the numbers, much like what you're seeing in Gujarat, there are only certain places the Aam Aadmi Party had come into and there are places where it didn't exist. When the rest of the parties collapsed, it spread across the state. The question over the next several years is, with a demoralized Congress party, does the Congress party collapse? Then Aam Aadmi Party becomes this big party, becomes an opposition party. If it doesn't collapse, then Aam Aadmi Party still has a ways to go.
Before we get into that, just one more graphic, Nidhi and Dorab, again looking at the BJP spreading into areas, regions and communities that were outside its social base. These are the tribal seats. So if you can just put up the tribal seats graphic on screen, because as we know, Gujarat has a huge 15% tribal base. They traditionally vote for the Congress. There are 27 reserved tribal seats, and the BJP has swept the bulk. 23 of the 27 seats have gone to the BJP. That's a gain of 14 from last time.
But here the percentage of voting was very high in this time, tribal seats, 78% almost.
See, the South Gujarat tribals are different from the North Gujarat tribals. I think BJP had started dealing with the North Gujarat tribals. This time, they've taken hold of the South Gujarat tribals. There was one Christian tribal, he's out. Then they've done very good in terms of management, in terms of Hindus and Christians in the tribal areas.
Yes.
So, it's a well-managed, it's a professional organization versus a bunch of amateurs.
But I think what's interesting is in terms of, I mean, they didn't do well in the tribal areas. They got hit by the Patidar agitation last time, but it's just the way the BJP went all out to pull it back, right? I mean, that's.
Can I make a point?
Yes, please.
See, there is, I don't know, maybe these numbers, and we are dividing the people as to, generally when we analyze the election, the Saurashtra or this region, that region, and this community, I don't think it exists anymore. When a party gets 54% vote and such a tsunami or whatever
I didn't call it
said that if that happens, I don't think that every section of the people across the state is voting for one party. Predominantly, the citizens of Gujarat has taken a decision that Narendra Modi and BJP is the one. So
every
further if
region
we
has
go-
its own significance.
there is
They
another
voted
thing.
differently last time.
What Nidhi was
Yeah.
just
No, but hold on, PKD. The thing is, of course, all like large blocks of different communities have voted for you, but that's because the BJP has done that social engineering to go and target and reach
Precisely.
out to those communities.
Precisely.
So it's not as if to say the BJP is now above identity politics. The BJP
I
is
tell you
playing
that
very much the
identity-
game of identity politics
playing it smartly.
As a nation,
and playing it, if it's playing it better than its rival,
no,
then
as a culture,
that's why you get these numbers.
As a culture, we all identify ourselves as a culture in across India that with some kind of a community or a caste, all those stuff. But over a period of time, if you really look at it, not only in one place, just not in Gujarat, almost across the places have that is being transforming to a developmental vote.
No. That's
I don't think that is not
that's too simplistic.
I'm not
PKD.
saying completely true,
The
but it is
BJP
changing
is
completely.
playing
drastically.
very much the politics of caste alongside with all this welfareism. And again, when you say every community, zero
What
Muslims.
happened to the
No,
Patidar
zero.
movement?
Once
Let me
again,
ask you
zero.
this.
Hold on.
What
hold on.
happened to the Patidar
Once again,
movement?
let's be clear.
What happened to the tribal vote bank?
Zero Muslims. 10,
Do you think
9,
that
10%, 9, 10%
do not
Muslims
hold
in Gujarat.
Muslims in it?
Not a single
that has
seat.
been developed.
Yet
What
again,
is the AIMIM?
Not a single
What is
seat.
the percentage of vote AIMIM which is supposed to be the Muslim
But that's not the
custodian
point.
of Muslims?
That's,
Talking about
the point
BJP.
is completely different. That they're
No,
not
I am
getting those
saying
votes.
that
The
I
BJP
think
is
even
not
the
getting
BJP
them.
has got vote from every section of the society. There is always in any kind of election there will be an number of people who may not like the BJP or the Narendra Modi or his style of politics.
that's-
But I think that is
That is
45%
different.
of the vote.
No, that's
but
different.
rest.
No, that is, hold on. Of course, there are communities that don't traditionally vote for you. You reach out to those communities, except the
that's
Muslims. Hold on,
precisely the
except
social
the
engineering.
Muslims. No, but except the Muslims. They are actually, in a sense, treated almost as quote unquote the enemy to polarize the Hindus. That's the. I mean, that's not a secret. That's not a secret.
I have an answer for
All
this.
the 28, if I look at
it-
the number of seats were in Muslim dominated areas too, the BJP candidates have won this time
That
around.
doesn't mean the Muslims are voting for you in large
Yeah,
numbers.
exactly.
PKD.
No,
It
I'm
could
not
just mean
saying
that
that
those seats are
the
getting
entire
polarized.
Muslim are voting for
Okay,
BJP.
anyway,
I may not
I'm
say,
just
but
saying-
then I believe that a social engineering, what you said, is working very well, and the BJP has tried at least
Sure.
put up an effort to make sure
Okay,
that
let's
everybody
bring-
comes
let's
together. The
bring in
Patidar
others.
movement got over.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's bring in
Vasu, go
others.
Who else do we have on? Because do you have the guest list? Okay, so
We have many others.
Yeah,
we have
sorry.
Adil Singh
I'm stealing
Bopara
your-
is there, who's
stealing your
from the
guest list
Congress.
for the moment.
We've got Reena.
Reena
AAP,
Gupta
yeah.
from AAP. Let's get the first comment from you, Reena Gupta, on the AAP's performance. I know the AAP today is spinning this as, a great victory, becoming, on the road to becoming a national party because of vote share, etc. But I'm sure even you would be slightly disappointed, or more than slightly disappointed, with how the end result actually has turned out in Gujarat, given the expectations that you had raised about your own performance.
So Nidhi, I agree with you that the results are not as our expectations were, but I think it is a big day for us today. In the history of the country, we are probably the fastest party that has achieved the national status. We have now 5 MLAs in Gujarat, and we have 13% vote share. This is in spite of all the might of Bharatiya Janata Party, where the media had been told to do a total boycott of Aam Aadmi Party. We used to not get invited
this morning
to anything.
everybody was saying that we gave disproportionate coverage to Aam Aadmi
Absolutely.
Party.
I'm talking
I
about
still
Nidhi,
continue
let
to
me
say so.
complete. Let me complete.
No, I'm just
talking
telling you
about
the irony
Gujarati
of it.
media.
I think they meant that
I'm
they're saying the
speaking about the
Gujarati press.
Gujarati
Acha.
media.
They're talking about
I'm
Gujarati
speaking about
media.
the Gujarati media, Nidhi.
Okay.
And this is, by the way, something that I heard in Gujarat as well, that there was this kind of quote unquote
Blackout.
blackout. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Absolute blackout. In spite of all this, I think the performance is very good. However, I think there are 2 stories coming out today. One, of course, is that Aam Aadmi Party has become a national party. The second story is also that Bharatiya Janata Party has lost 2 states. It's lost the MCD, it's lost Himachal Pradesh. Of course, they've won Gujarat, but we have to also
They lost the
recognize that
MCD
out
also.
of MCD,
they are
it's a-
well, they are
MCD,
considering the MCD
which
as a
is
state of
which
in
is
Delhi.
almost like a
Good.
state. The way the MCD elections were fought in Delhi, it was as big as a state election. So Bharatiya Janata Party it was in power in all three, it lost two. It has continued to retain Gujarat, which is of course its bastion, its fortress. In spite of us, just one last point I want to make, Srinivas. In spite of us losing Himachal Pradesh, I think we managed to get people's issues onto the manifestos of both the parties. Congress has promised free electricity in Himachal Pradesh.
Okay, let's
hope they deliver on free electricity. Congress has promised.
Okay, let's not make all the points in one answer. We have to keep this a little dynamic.
In Delhi, what is the percentage of vote they have reduced from the state election
but the
to
wider,
election?
hold on, but the wider point that's being made is that it does appear, as Sachin Pilot was telling us, that this quote-unquote myth of the BJP's invincibility, especially in the Hindi belt, stands broken. Yes, you won Gujarat, but you lost Himachal.
In which you also had the Prime Minister as your
And
lead
Delhi
campaigner.
Yes.
You didn't see as much of the Chief Minister's face on posters as you did Mr. Modi. So it's not, I mean, that the BJP is invincible.
Absolutely. See, I think a loss is a loss. Whether it is even, we may go on and say that we lost it for 0.70% of the vote. It's also because of the rebellion and etc. But then loss is a loss. If you have lost an election even for one seat, one needs to go back to the drawing room and at least check once again. But one thing I'll tell you, despite Himachal has always had this trend of changing the government, and I was very hopeful, like Uttarakhand, like another the Himalayan this thing, it will also go in the I think if the rebellions were less, if it could have been handled, maybe if the party would have taken it a little more seriously.
The wider question, Bhaskar, is, does that mean this idea that the Modi magic can just win you elections without any check blindly, that stands questioned now, right? Worked in Gujarat, doesn't work in Himachal.
So I was waiting for
then what happens,
to the Modi,
what happens to the Modi factor?
Didn't work in Bengal, didn't work in Bihar.
No, in Bengal from 3%, because of this Modi magic, we have gone up to 38.4%. These two different distinct things.
Let's stay with Himachal. Himachal also. Modi factor.
No, Himachal Modi factor. What is our percentage voting? There's important. Number of seats is one calculation.
Sir, you've
percentage voting. Yes, I have lost number of seats, but question is Modi factor, whether we can retain our positions or we have increased. In Himachal, we have retained our percentage vote. Now, when it is coming to one-to-one fight in a respective booth or a respective seat, it has a different mathematics altogether.
You can split hairs on vote share.
His question
it's like when people would say that the BJP won 2014
yeah, because of Modi magic, we are retaining the vote share.
The BJP won.
No. One second. Modi magic has got two effects. Number one, retaining the vote share or increasing it, what you can see in Gujarat. Modi magic has got another facets. That is retaining the vote share, but we have lost number of seats. In Himachal, my margin of error or the margin is very, very less than 1%.
I want to ask Nilanjan about
now
this.
Now, question is a clean sweep. If you talk about in Himachal, we have a very, very thin margin, but because of Modi magic, the Himachal, in Gujarat, we got a clean sweep. It's a tsunami.
Sunamo. But
Sunamo.
No, only because Dora had also
point
done that graphic earlier, right? Where you were looking at the Modi factor and how it has this ability
veracity
to
of
carry. But
losing
again,
and
it
winning.
also shows you today you've seen two sides to it.
Yes, of course.
You've seen where it works and where it runs into limitations.
I don't think any Indian politician's ever been able to work the magic everywhere. Obviously, when you are in your up, it works both places.
Yes.
And then it doesn't work in some
every
places.
time we can't win, but every time we have increased our vote share from Bengal. You mentioned the Bengal, 3% to 38.4%.
Can I make a small point regarding this Modi magic, please? Just a small point.
One second. Is in terms of issues, you have a very small Muslim population in Himachal. Therefore, even though you had uniform civil code and all in the manifesto, are the issues different for people in terms of how it plays out on the ground? I mean, does polarization work, for instance, in a state like Himachal?
Compared to, say, Uttarakhand,
where it was
where
very
there was
different.
much greater scope for the BJP to play that card, right?
I mean, so we do tend to think that Hindu-Muslim polarization is most effective when there is a substantial but not too large a percentage of Muslims, right? That just sort of is how Hindu-Muslim polarization works. I mean, I think the other point about thinking about Modi factor, yes or no, is that there's a huge disjuncture between state elections and national elections. And, why say Himachal? You can also say Delhi. Delhi is also a place that's around 60% of it voted for Modi, right? But not in state elections. around 70% of Himachal voted for Modi in 2019, but not in the state election, right? We're talking about huge drops in voter, 20, 30% differences between national and state elections. So I think we have to understand that this particular functioning of the BJP, when we talk about the Modi factor, it is still disproportionately a national phenomenon, centralizing at the national level.
Right.
It doesn't always carry out in state elections.
Okay. We also had, Didi, we're talking of Himachal, we spoke to one of the key players there, Vikramaditya Singh. He is, as we know, the son of late Veerbhadra Singh, Chief Minister of Himachal, and he might emerge as one of the chief ministerial contenders.
But there are 4 people in line.
There are 4 people in line. Okay, you've already got the list.
We have already got the list, and not only so this is.
Have you already started contacting them? What are you trying to say?
I'll tell you. This is going to be interesting now. The 4 people who will be the next chief minister for in Congress, and Congress always had this major issue. That is where Congress finally end up losing the governments.
You think the BJP didn't like Mr.
But
Bhumal
BJP has got a mechanism, sir. The top leadership will go and fix it if there is a problem. But what happens in the case of Congress?
Very democratic. We'll go in and fix it. Okay, let's just go across to Vikramaditya Singh. I spoke to him earlier in Shimla and began by asking him about whether at some point, I mean, congratulate him on his victory, but at some point, were they nervous?
We were very confident from day one that we will be forming the government with absolute majority, irrespective of what the exit polls were, because we have been working on the ground for the last 5 years and in the Vidhan Sabha, outside the Vidhan Sabha, and we knew that the people of the state, the employees, horticulturalists, agriculturalists, businessmen, women, they were all disenchanted with this so-called double engine ki sarkar, and we were very sure that it will be swept out of power, and this is what has happened today. So we were not at all nervous. We were very confident from day one, and now that the mandate is in our favor, we will in the times to come form the government in Himachal Pradesh in the next few days and take forward the developmental work of my late father, Shri Veerbhadra Singh ji, who led the state for the last 6 times as Chief Minister, with the blessings of Shrimati Sonia Gandhi ji, Priyanka ji, Shri Kharge ji, and all the senior leaders. And we will do all the promises that we had committed in these elections will be duly fulfilled.
Did you miss your father today, Vikramaditya?
Yeah, as a son, definitely yes, and I will continue to miss him. But I can say that he is immortal, and he continues to live in the hearts and minds of the people of the state. And the results today very much have has proven that he will continue to live. His legacy will continue to live, and his school of thought will be functional and very much seen in the next government that we form in the state.
Okay. Now, were there any plans, because at some point when things were looking tight, we were hearing reports that you were planning to move your MLAs out. Were you actually planning to do that, and are you still thinking on those lines?
I don't think so that that fear is there anymore. But anyways, we were wanting to take all preventive measures because we have seen that in the past in Goa, in Meghalaya and in other states, in Maharashtra recently, the BJP has upset the popular mandate of the people, and they would have definitely tried it in Himachal also. But now that we have a clear mandate, I don't think so that they will try any stunts of this sort. But even if they do, with your channel, I would like to caution the outgoing Chief Minister that please don't try any such stunts, because whatever little popularity or whatever little goodwill you have left with the people, that will be eroded if you try to do any such undemocratic activities. Please accept the mandate of the people humbly, accept it, be in the opposition and work as a constructive opposition with the government, and take forward the state collectively.
Okay, but has the BJP reached out to any of your MLAs, to your knowledge?
No, nobody has contacted us, but I don't think so they will also. But as I said, that I have already cautioned them that please don't indulge in any kind of illegal activities.
Okay. Are you going to be Chief Minister? Can we congratulate you on the show?
No, there is nothing like that. We Congress party is a very democratic party. It is the new CLP, and that will be meeting shortly with the central observers who are coming from Delhi. So they will take a call that who should be the next Chief Minister in the state, and whatever the MLAs decide, whatever the High Command decides, that will be honored by all of us, and we will collectively work with whatever responsibility the High Command gives us.
That is a kind of expected answer. But if the High Command does ask you to take up this onerous task, will you be up for it?
See, I don't shirk from any responsibility. This is my second tenure as an MLA now. I have been an elected Youth Congress president before that. So whatever responsibility is given to me or to anybody else, we are ready to serve the people in whatever capacity the High Command deems fit. If at all, yes. If no, then whatever the High Command says and the legislative party says, we will work tirelessly for the people of the state.
And is your mother also, Vikramaditya, a contender for the post?
See, there are a number of contenders, and yes, she is one of the contenders. I would not deny that, because she is at present a member of parliament, and she is also the state president, and it was under her leadership that the Congress has emerged victorious in the state. But again, she has reiterated it very categorically that the High Command and the MLAs will decide who will be the next Chief Minister. If at all it comes to her, we'll take a call, and we are ready to face all challenges and take all responsibility and take the state forward.
All right. Thanks very much indeed, Vikramaditya Singh. So, Nidhi, we had two. He said, I'll take it if it comes to me. My mother is also a contender.
Right.
So there are contenders.
What do you expect him to say? I'll not take it.
Well, sometimes they do. Sometimes they do.
No,
but he said,
I'm not there for power.
When was the last time you heard someone say, I won't take it? When was the last time you heard someone say?
When you were offered.
We have Lalita Kumaramanglam of the BJP joining us.
No?
Nalini Singh is back with us. She's been bravely sitting with us since 7 a.m.
And also Adil from Congress.
Adil Boparai from the Congress. Okay, Adil has logged out, but we're going to ask him to log back in. Lalita Kumaramanglam, I think in a way, the Gujarat result, perhaps not the scale of it, but the fact that the BJP was going to win emphatically was a given. I mean, we've been saying this for weeks now, and the exit polls reconfirmed that, and of course the results. Frankly, the real surprise is how convincingly the Congress has won Himachal. And therefore, that whole question that we've been asking is that, yes, you have the Modi factor, you have the Modi magic, certainly in the Lok Sabha we've seen it, in many states we've seen it, but it's not invincible. The BJP can be defeated. So, did Himachal come as a bit of a surprise to you as well?
Everybody expected Himachal to be very close, as it has been. Many of the people who won from the Congress and those who lost from the BJP too have lost by just a sliver. As you know, the vote share is just about 0.9% difference. But the fact is, first, let me admit that yes, they won handsomely, and congratulations to the Congress and their team and their leadership. I hope they provide a good, stable government that will take the state forward. Having said that, yes, it is a disappointment for the BJP to have lost. But I don't think there were a lot of discussions about the fact that Himachal, like several other states, you lose it like Rajasthan. It goes one term to the BJP, one term to the Congress. But I think the Congress itself was surprised that they managed to pull this off. However, I think the Congress, like the BJP has always said, has now, or at least I hope they have now realized, that where you have an organization and where you have local leaders who have credibility, yes, the party can do well. In Himachal, to give credit to the local Congress leaders and the Congress party members there, what we say Karyakarta, the workers, they have, I would credit their win to them, not to the central party leadership, with all due respect to the CLP of the Congress party. Now, the BJP, yes, of course, we are surprised that, we did not win.
But when we've seen the results, the details of the results that's come, we've realized that yes, the Congress has worked very hard, and the people can change their mind. Ultimately, India is a democracy.
But I think
it can swing either way.
Okay.
But one second, just let me finish, Asu. I think one of the decisive points here was the pension yojana that the Congress announced. The BJP's economic approach was different.
Okay, but is there...
And as we know, a vast majority of people in Himachal are pensioners who actually work for the government. It did make a huge difference.
Okay, so, but is there a risk?
They chose a strategy that has come to win.
All right, okay, Lalita ji, we'll just come back to you. Yes.
Sanjay Singh, Member of Parliament from the Aam Aadmi Party, joining us at this point. Sanjay Singh, thank you very much for being with us. संजय जी, आप पहले ये बताइए कि जहां तक गुजरात का सवाल है, फर्स्टली कांग्रेचुलेशंस टू यू, आप लोग नेशनल पार्टी बनने जा रहे हैं, लेकिन aren't you disappointed with the end outcome? 5 सीट्स हैं और आपने तो कांग्रेस का ही वोट शेयर खा लिया.
देखिए, मुझे नहीं मालूम कि इस बात का कौन सा थर्मोमीटर है जिससे ये चेक होता है कि हमने कांग्रेस का वोट खाया या बीजेपी का वोट खाया. अगर एक राज्य में हम 13% वोट लेके आ रहे हैं, 41 लाख वोट लेके आ रहे हैं, तो मेरे ख्याल से ये 6% पे तो चुनाव आयोग भी मान्यता दे देता है. तो अब गुजरात की जनता ने अगर ठीक ठाक मैंडेट हमको दिया है, 41 लाख वोट दिया है, तो ये नहीं कहा जा सकता कि हम किसी पार्टी का वोट काटने भर के लिए खड़े हुए थे. अब कांग्रेस पार्टी हम तो चलाते नहीं. अब राहुल गांधी जी अगर रैली करने नहीं गए, प्रियंका गांधी जी रैली करने नहीं गई, अगर कांग्रेस पार्टी ने अपना संगठन नहीं बनाया और ठीक से चुनाव नहीं लड़े, तो उसके लिए हम तो जिम्मेदार नहीं है. जिस राज्य में वो 77 की संख्या में थे, अगर 17 उनके बिक गए, तो इसके लिए हम तो जिम्मेदार नहीं है. मैं तो गुजरात की जनता को बधाई देना चाहता हूँ, शुभकामनाएं देना चाहता हूँ, शुभकामनाएं देना चाहता हूँ कि उन्होंने आम आदमी पार्टी को राष्ट्रीय पार्टी बनाया.
संजय जी, क्योंकि ऑपोजिशन का वोट स्प्लिट हुआ है, उससे बीजेपी को और फायदा हुआ गुजरात में. सवाल इसीलिए पूछा जा रहा है.
नहीं तो फिर कांग्रेस पार्टी को हमारे खिलाफ नहीं लड़ना चाहिए. दिल्ली के अंदर हर चुनाव में वो क्यों लड़ते हैं हमारे खिलाफ? कांग्रेस पार्टी क्यों लड़ती है समाजवादी पार्टी के खिलाफ उत्तर प्रदेश में? उनको चुनाव नहीं लड़ना चाहिए.
अच्छा,
एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी है, वो चुनाव लड़ेगी, अपने ढंग से प्रयास करेगी. अगर मान लीजिए हम एक राजनीतिक दल हैं, आज हम गुजरात में लड़े, 41 लाख वोट हमको मिला, हम एक राष्ट्रीय पार्टी बन गए, तो यहां से हमारा रास्ता आगे बढ़ेगा. अब कोई पार्टी है जहां जीत रही है और बिक रही है, जीत रही है और बिक रही है.
अच्छा,
तो
चलिए,
इसके लिए हम थोड़ी जिम्मेदार हैं. गोवा में वो जीते बिक गए, मध्य प्रदेश में जीते बिक गए, कर्नाटक में जीते बिक गए. तो जब बूढ़ा बिकता है फिल्म की तरह, उन्होंने विधायक बिकता है, फिल्म चला रखी है, तो हम तो जिम्मेदार नहीं है उसके लिए.
नहीं, चलिए, आपका हक बनता है, आपको लड़ना है, आप अपनी पार्टी को इंक्रीज करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं जिस हाइप से आप आए थे गुजरात में, लोग यही सवाल पूछ रहे हैं. अब आप कह रहे हैं कि एक तरह से कॉन्सोलेशन प्राइज हो गया कि भाई हम नेशनल पार्टी बन गए, हम इसी के लिए लड़ रहे थे. अरविंद केजरीवाल एक पॉइंट पे कह रहे थे कि आप लिख के मेरे से ले लीजिए कि हम गुजरात जीतेंगे. तो कहीं ना कहीं आईबी का रिपोर्ट गिरे.
बहुत अच्छा सवाल किया, और मैं समझता हूं 1 मिनट का टाइम दीजिएगा, मैं इसका जवाब दे दूं. बहुत अच्छा आपने सवाल.
30 सेकेंड्स, क्योंकि और से सवाल पूछ सकते हैं.
पॉलिटिकल पार्टी चुनाव हारने के जी हाँ जी, बहुत जल्दी मैं ब्रीफली खत्म करूंगा. मैं कह रहा हूं कि बहुत अच्छा सवाल आपने पूछा. कोई भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी हारने के लिए चुनाव नहीं लड़ती. हम भी पूरी ताकत से लड़े, पूरी मेहनत की. 50 लाख परिवारों में हमने अपने गारंटी कार्ड भरवाए, हमने अपने प्रयास में कोई कमी नहीं छोड़ी, रैली सभाएं, पूरी मेहनत की. लेकिन जो परिणाम आएगा, जनादेश आएगा लोकतंत्र में, उसका सम्मान करना चाहिए. अब आते हैं दूसरी बात पे, दावे वाले पे. 2018 से लेकर अब तक भारत की राजनीति के चाणक्य कहे जाने वाले अमित शाह जी के 11 दावे गलत साबित हुए हैं. उनके दिल्ली के दावे, महाराष्ट्र के दावे, बंगाल के दावे, हरियाणा के दावे, एमसीडी के दावे. पार्लियामेंट में मुझे चुनौती दी थी उन्होंने, कहा था 6 महीने बाद 2 हाथ कर लेंगे. क्या हो गया उनके दावों का? और आप छोड़ दीजिए बाकी चीज. भारत के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी 173 सीट्स पे चुनाव लड़ते हैं 2019 में. मालूम है आपको कितना वोट शेयर था? 0.8%. 0.8%. 173 सीट्स पे बिल्कुल वाइप आउट, मतलब जमानतें जब्त हो गई थी बीजेपी की.
तो जैसे वो लड़ते हैं अपने नाम पे, उसी तरह इस वक्त आप लड़ रहे हैं केजरीवाल जी के नाम पे. मतलब पंजाब में भी इट वाज एक मौका केजरीवाल नु, गुजरात में भी उसका गुजराती एक मौका केजरीवाल छे. आई डोंट नो हाउ इट वुड बी सेड इन गुजराती.
इन दिल्ली आल्सो.
Dorab may be able
Is that
to.
correct?
केजरीवाल ने एक मौको आपो
एक मौको केजरीवाल,
एक मौको केजरीवाल।
हाँ,
ये कहीं ये थोड़ा फॉल शॉर्ट हो जाता है क्या कभी कभी, क्योंकि हर बार आप जाके उन्हीं के नाम पे लड़ते हैं। दिल्ली में चल जाता है, पंजाब में चल गया,
संजय जी, that's the point.
गुजरात में
पार्टी के जो शीर्ष नेता है उनके नाम पे अगर हम चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, उनकी अच्छी लोकप्रियता है, 3 बार उनको दिल्ली की जनता ने मुख्यमंत्री बनाया, एमसीडी चुनाव में उनको जिताया, तो उनके नाम पे अगर पंजाब में, गुजरात में, दूसरे राज्यों में हम लोग चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं तो इसमें बुराई कुछ नहीं है, अच्छी बात है। और इतना प्यार दिया गुजरात के लोगों ने कि आज हम राष्ट्रीय पार्टी बने।
नहीं, लेकिन आई थिंक वासु वाज
बाकी
आस्किंग इज दैट द
हम
गोल
जमीन पे और
पोस्ट
मेहनत
हैज
करेंगे,
चेंज्ड।
लगेंगे वहां।
मतलब आप जीत की बात कर रहे थे और आज आपके पास 5 सीटें हैं गुजरात में, तो आप आरंट यू डिसअपॉइंटेड विद दैट?
मैडम, कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी हारने के लिए चुनाव नहीं लड़ती, ना 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 ना।
अच्छा,
कोई भी पार्टी जब चुनाव में मैदान में होती है, जब आप उससे पूछते हैं तो वो यही दावा करेगी, कोई भी पार्टी पूरी मेहनत के साथ यही दावा करेगी हम चुनाव जीतने के लिए चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं। कौन कहेगा कि हम चुनाव हारने
अच्छा,
के लिए चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं?
एक सेकंड, नलिनी सिंह जी, हाँ संजय, नलिनी सिंह जी का एक सवाल है आपके लिए।
संजय जी, आपको मुबारक कि आप लोग राष्ट्रीय पार्टी बन गए हैं, लेकिन क्या अब आप ये समझते हैं कि हमको अपनी विचारधारा यानी आइडियोलॉजी अब स्पष्ट करनी पड़ेगी? क्या आपको आज ये मन में कुछ कसक है कि बिल्किस बानो, क्योंकि आप लोग गुजरात में रह रहे, बिल्किस बानो का जो सारा कांड था, जितने लोग वहाँ थे, वो जो एक राहुल साहब थे वो जीत गए। अगर आप देखें नरोडा पाटिया में जो कि डॉक्टर पायल बेन कुकरानी थी, जो कि जिनके पिताजी इसमें नरोडा पाटिया में नामजद थे, वो जीत गई। कि यहाँ पर कई चीज़ें ऐसी, मोरबी में जहाँ पर 137 बिल्कुल मासूम लोग मर गए, वहाँ पे इतनी जीत हुई। तो मुझे आपसे पूछना है कि क्या आपको लगता है कि अब हमें अपनी विचारधारा, ये जो आप विकास की बात करते हैं, डेवलपमेंट की बात करते हैं, उससे हमें अलग होकर आज बोलना पड़ेगा कि जो यहाँ का सोशल स्ट्रक्चर है हमारे देश का, गुजरात का, सब जगह, वो ये राष्ट्रीय पार्टी अब क्या कह रही है उसके बारे में, आइडियोलॉजी?
देखिए नलिनी जी, ये भारतीय राजनीति एक संकट के दौर से गुजर रही है, ये हम सब लोगों को स्वीकार करना चाहिए। दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी पार्टी भारतीय जनता पार्टी खुलेआम हाथरस कांड में बलात्कारियों के साथ खड़ी होती है, खुलेआम उन्नाव कांड में अपने रेप के आरोपी विधायक के साथ खड़ी होती है, खुलेआम 5 लोगों को कुचलने वाले, किसानों को कुचलने वाले गृह राज्य मंत्री के साथ खड़ी होती है। तो ये तो बेशर्मी के इंतहा, और बिल्किस बानो के मामले में भी बलात्कारियों के साथ खड़ी होती है। तो निश्चित रूप से ये सवाल भारतीय जनता पार्टी और उनकी सरकार से पूछा जाना चाहिए, और बार बार पूछा जाना चाहिए कि भाई आपकी पार्टी पूरे देश में बलात्कार करने वाले, माफिया एलिमेंट, गुंडे, उनका एक आदमी आईटी सेल का चीफ था, वो लश्कर तैयबा का आतंकवादी निकला कश्मीर में।
लेकिन संजय जी, वो अलग बात है। आई थिंक सवाल ये है,
निश्चित रूप से पूछना
आप खासकर बिल्किस जैसे मुद्दे पर आप लोगों ने आप चुप रहे, आपने उसको बिल्कुल कहीं भी इलेक्शन कैंपेन में गुजरात में नहीं उसको उठाया, हालांकि वो इतना बड़ा मुद्दा है कि डजन लोग जिनके खिलाफ रेप और गैंगरेप और उसका उनको छोड़ दिया गया,
एनआरसी लेकर भी
they've been let out।
शाहीन बाग का मामला, बिल्किस बानो का मामला सुप्रीम कोर्ट में है, और मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि उनको वहां से न्याय मिलेगा। जहां तक विकास के मॉडल की बात आपने कही, नलिनी जी ने जो सवाल पूछा, निश्चित रूप से शिक्षा, स्वास्थ्य, बिजली, पानी की राजनीति को जितना बढ़ावा मिलेगा, जिसको ये लोग फ्री रेवड़ी कह के अपमानित करते हैं बार बार जनता को, बल्कि रेवड़ी तो हजारों करोड़, लाखों करोड़ की बांटते हैं पूंजीपति मित्रों को। तो जो जनता को ये सुविधाएं देने की राजनीति जितना बढ़ेगी, उतना जाति धर्म के नाम पे नफरत फैलाने की राजनीति खत्म होगी।
ठीक है, चलिए आपने अगेन उसको थोड़ा सा टाल दिया, didn't fully address। हाँ, सुप्रीम कोर्ट से न्याय करें। एनीवे, थैंक यू संजय जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you once again. We have to take a break at this point, but we will be back at the top of the hour with more guests, more analysis, because we still have a lot to talk about.
More guests, more analysis.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
7 बजे से क्या कर रहे हैं? Too much winning, too much.
I need a coffee, otherwise I'll go.
भारत आज खुशी मनाएगा। फटाकड़े और मिठाई बांटेगी।
It is a very emotional moment.
अब तक 8 पार्टियां थी, अब 9वीं पार्टी राष्ट्रीय पार्टी आम आदमी पार्टी हो गई। ताली बजा।
एक जवान पार्टी जिसको अभी 10 साल हुए बस, उसकी 2 राज्यों में सरकार है और आज वो राष्ट्रीय पार्टी बन गई है।
कि ये जीत आम आदमी पार्टी के लिए बहुत बड़ी जीत है।
All right, it's 9 o'clock and you're watching the big day of counting and the results. The winner is the BJP. Huge landslide in Gujarat and of course the Congress managing to get that consolation prize in Himachal. What's the national implication of this, the road to 2024? That's what we're going to get into, Nidhi Dorab, in the next 1 hour, Nidhi.
Absolutely, we'll be looking at the Aam Aadmi Party's performance as well after all the hype. What was the substance on the ground? And we are heading into a number of state elections next year. Remember, before the big one in 2024 in the Lok Sabha. Is the Modi magic invincible? Is he unbeatable? Himachal has proved that that's not quite the case. So he can be beaten, the BJP can be beaten, but is that something that the opposition is up to doing? That's what we're going to talk about over the next hour, Basu.
Okay, all right. Let's jump right in. We've got a bunch of big newsmakers on the show tonight. Let's start straight away with Darshanaben Jardosh. She's Minister of Railway and Textiles. She's also the Member of Parliament from Surat. She's joining us. बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद दर्शनाबेन, आप हमारे साथ जुड़ी. Congratulations, आपको बधाई हो. बहुत ही बड़ी जीत थी इस बार. क्या इस किस्म की जीत,
नमस्कार,
सारे आंकड़े सब रुझान यही इशारा कर रहे थे कि भाजपा जीतने वाली है, बट इतना बड़ा लैंडस्लाइड होगा आपको कल्पना थी?
नहीं, 150 से प्लस होगा वो टारगेट लेके तो हम चल ही रहे थे। और हम समझ रहे थे कि जो तीसरी पार्टी के बारे में लोग बार बार पूछ रहे थे वो हमारे लिए एग्जिस्टिंग नहीं करती थी, हम उसके बारे में नहीं सोच रहे थे, क्योंकि जहां मैं सूरत से हूं वहां उनका फोकस था। और जब पिछले चुनाव में भी 2017 में आपने देखा होगा कि जीएसटी के कारण पूरे लोग सूरत पे थे और वहां पे भी लोगों को नाराजगी दिखती थी, लेकिन ये नाराजगी कभी वोट शेयर में परिवर्तित नहीं हुई। और इसके कारण क्या था कि 12 में से 12 सीट उस टाइम भी सूरत की हमारी रही, और ये समय भी ऐसा रहा कि कॉर्पोरेशन के चुनाव के समय में जो उनको मौका मिल गया था तो उनको वो समझ रहे थे कि हमें जनाधार मिल गया है, लेकिन सच में जमीन पर कुछ नहीं था, सोशल मीडिया पे था, झूठ का पटारा था और लोग समझने लगे थे। कॉर्पोरेशन में जो 27 सीटें मिली थी वो कांग्रेस की मिली थी, बीजेपी के वोट शेयर तो थे ही नहीं। और जहां पे मेरे चुनाव में, तीसरे चुनाव में, जहां 76% वोट शेयर जहां बीजेपी का हो, जनाधार हो, स्मार्टेस्ट सिटी हो, द वर्ल्ड्स लार्जेस्ट सिटी एंड वर्ल्ड्स फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग सिटी ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, जहां पे प्रधानमंत्री जी के प्रति अपार श्रद्धा और बीजेपी के प्रति जो लोगों की चाहना है, वहां जो लोगों ने राजनीति करना चाहिए वो सफल नहीं हुए। तो हम लोगों का फोकस ये होता है कि मैं मंत्री बाद में हूँ, पहले मैं मेरी सांसद और मेरी
दर्शना जी,
आप
और ऑल्सो दीदी, वो आप तो उनका तीसरी पार्टी, आप तो आम आदमी पार्टी का नाम ही नहीं ले रहे हैं, मतलब इतना उनको नकार
ये जो तीसरी पार्टी की आप बात कर रहे हैं मैम, वो उन्होंने तो आपकी मदद करी है आज, उन्होंने तो कांग्रेस का वोट शेयर खाया है और ऑपोजिशन का वोट शेयर सारा स्प्लिट हुआ है, तो उससे तो बीजेपी को ही फायदा हुआ है। यू शुड बी हैप्पी।
नहीं, बीजेपी को तो बीजेपी विकास की जो राजनीति करती है, अब सभी के जितने भी मीडिया के लोग थे वो बड़े बड़े शहर में आए थे, अहमदाबाद, सूरत, वो देख के जब वो लोग वहां घूमते थे तो उनको पता चलता है कि सच में डेवलपमेंट किसको बोलते हैं। तो ये डेवलपमेंट के साथ में लोग भी जुड़ते गए, क्लीनेस्ट सिटी के नाते सूरत से लोग जुड़ते गए, स्मार्ट सिटी के नाते जुड़ते गए। लोगों का जो अनुभूति और अनुभव की बात होती है डेवलपमेंट की, वो सच में हमारे यहाँ होती थी। और पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता दोनों, सत्ता और संगठन दोनों साथ में मिलकर जब कोई काम करता है, और कांग्रेस मुक्त का नारा हमने गुजरात में सूरत से दिया था, कॉर्पोरेशन में एक भी सीट कांग्रेस की नहीं है, तो कांग्रेस कहीं पे थी नहीं। मैं गोवा के इलेक्शन में थी, वहां पे भी 40 सीटों पे उन्होंने बहुत राजनीति करी, लेकिन सभी सीटों पे उनकी डिपॉजिट गई। आज भी वो लोग खुश हो रहे हैं कि हम लोगों को नेशनल पार्टी का सिंबल मिल गया, लेकिन वो लोग ये नहीं बोल रहे कि 125 सीट पे उनकी डिपॉजिट गई है। तो वो झूठ की बात, वो लोग जो नहीं मिल रहा उसके बारे में कोई चर्चा नहीं करता।
जी,
और एक विधानसभा सीट पर 1,80,000 से ज्यादा।
मैम, आपने कांग्रेस की बात करी, और पिछली बार 2017 के जो चुनाव हुए थे उसमें तो कम से कम एक, मतलब there was actually a fight, मतलब कांग्रेस ने they did a pretty decent challenge to the BJP at that time, हार गए लेकिन they put up a fight। क्या आप भी हैरान थे जिस तरह से कांग्रेस ने इस बार बैटलफील्ड छोड़ ही दिया चुनाव से पहले? आपको थोड़ी हैरानी हुई कि उन्होंने मतलब ये चुनाव लड़ा ही नहीं गुजरात में?
मैं ठीक से सुन नहीं पाई।
मैम, मैं ये पूछ रही थी कि क्या आप हैरान हुई कि इस बार कांग्रेस ने लड़ाई लड़ी ही नहीं गुजरात में,
और क्या इस वजह से आप जीत गए?
हाँ, वो तो दिखती है ना, वो हमें कब से दिख रही थी। कांग्रेस कहीं पे थी ही नहीं। हम तो चाहते थे कि कांग्रेस लड़ाई लड़े, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि अहमद भाई के बाद में कांग्रेस का संगठन, कांग्रेस ने सबने हथियार डाल दिए थे। वो चाहते थे हम लोग, क्योंकि पिछली बार 2017 के चुनाव में जब राहुल गांधी खुद आए थे राजनीति करने के लिए, फिर भी 12 में से 12 सीट चली गई थी उनकी। तो ये बार भी हम लोग समझ रहे थे कि कुछ ना कुछ तो इसमें प्राण देने के लिए या कुछ उनका उत्साह बढ़ाने के लिए वो आते होंगे, क्योंकि भारतीय जनता पूरी जी जान से सभी कार्यकर्ताओं के साथ रहती है। देखिए, जब भी चुनाव आता है। हाँ जी
दर्शना जी, आप कह रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस आप चाह रहे थे कि लड़े, लेकिन फैक्ट आप कह रहे हैं कि विकास और इन सब मुद्दों पे आपको इतने ज्यादा वोट मिले, लेकिन क्या ये भी तो फैक्ट है कि जिस तरह से सरकार 5 साल से चली उसमें कई कमियां भी थी। कोविड में हमने देखा किस किस्म की मौतें हुई, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट का इशू था, एग्जाम पेपर लीक का इशू था, यहां तक कि आपको मुख्यमंत्री बदलना पड़ा, पूरा कैबिनेट को इस्तीफा देना पड़ा 1 साल पहले, फिर जाके नए सीएम तो उनको तो 1 साल भी नहीं मिला।
वो बदलना वो आपके लिए होगा, लेकिन हम समझते हैं कि पार्टी की व्यवस्था है, कोई भी है वो पार्टी का कमल का फूल लेके आता है, इसके पीछे हम लोग सब जी जान से लग जाता है। सबसे बड़ी बात कि जो भी कमियां रही उसको हम सुधारते करते चलते गए, समीक्षा करते रहे। हमारी कमियों के साथ में लोगों की अपेक्षा क्या है वो भी हम लोग बार बार देखते रहे। तो ये
नहीं, लेकिन आप कह रहे हैं आप अपेक्षा देखते रहे, लेकिन
ये सब लेकिन जो लोगों के साथ में हम लोग आगे इसी से बढ़ते हैं।
नहीं, जो कहा गया है कि एक तरह से जो कमियां थी उनको एक तरह से वो करने के लिए उनको नहीं एक सेकंड उनसे फोकस हटाने के लिए या उनको कवर अप करने के लिए मोदी जी को पूरी जी जान लगानी पड़ी। दर्शना जी, आप तो मेरा सवाल ही नहीं सुन रही हैं।
लोगों ने आगे बढ़ने की
मैं कह रहा हूं कि मोदी जी के आने के वजह से ही वो सारी जो कमियां थी उनको कवर अप करने के लिए उनको इतना करना पड़ा कोशिश। वो नहीं आते तो पिक्चर कुछ और हो सकती थी।
कवर अप नहीं करना पड़ा, देखिए, कॉरपोरेशन के चुनाव के बाद में हम लोगों को पता था कि हमारी कौन सी 27 सीट पे हमें क्या गलती हुई है, तो ये तो हम लोगों ने 2 साल से सुधार लिया था। लास्ट टाइम पे हम लोग कोई राजनीति नहीं करते, हम उसके लिए पहले से प्लानिंग करते हैं। हमारी जो व्यवस्था रहती है, हमारा पन्ना प्रमुख, हमारा बूथ प्रमुख, वो सब हम पहले से करते हैं। लास्ट टाइम पे आके राजनीति करना, सोशल मीडिया पे जाना, हाँ जी
जी थैंक यू सो मच मैम। एक और सवाल है,
एक लास्ट सवाल आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं दर्शना जी, क्योंकि आप इतनी सीनियर भी हैं, आप महिला भी हैं, कि जो जिस तरह से हमने देखा कि आपके कार्यकाल में जो बिल्किस बानो के जो सारे रेप कॉन्विक्ट्स थे उनको छोड़ा गया, वो गुजरात सरकार के सहमति से छोड़ा गया, केंद्र गृह मंत्री ने उस पर ठप्पा लगाया। क्या ये आप मानते हैं कि बहुत ही ये गलत हुआ, और क्या अब आप दोबारा सरकार में आ गए हैं, इसको रिवर्स करने के आप इस पे कुछ सोचेंगी?
नहीं, वो जो उनका काम है वो उनके हिसाब से है, लेकिन इसके बाद में ऐसा भी हुआ कि सबसे छोटी लड़की का बलात्कार हुआ तो उसके आरोपी को तुरंत पकड़ा गया। ये सूरत में बनी हुई घटना है। तो वो मुस्लिम शेर भी, हमारे वोटर्स भी हमारे साथ रहे, जितने भी सरकार के डिसीजन रहे। तो इसमें कई जगह ऐसा था कि लोगों ने हमें साथ दिया। तो कई एक डिसीजन के ऊपर कोई चेंज करना या उसके ऊपर टिप्पणी करना मेरे लिए, मैं समझती हूँ, मैं
नहीं, पर आप मानती हैं कि जो हुआ वो गलत था?
भी मुस्लिम महिला नहीं, गलत नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि जब भी कोई डिसीजन होता है भारतीय जनता पार्टी या सरकार में कोई लेता है तो पूरी समझ के साथ में हम लोग आगे बढ़ते हैं।
अच्छा, चलिए।
All right, Darshana ji, thank you very much for joining us. And we also have Raghav Chadha from the Aam Aadmi Party, now Member of Parliament, the man who was in charge actually of the Gujarat campaign on behalf of the AAP. So, Raghav, thanks for coming. You said yesterday that you would join us irrespective of how things went today. So, describe to us how you're feeling about how things have gone in Gujarat.
After that high in the MCD.
Yeah, is it a little, not so high today, that feeling?
Look, first of all, I congratulate the Bharatiya Janata Party on a fantastic victory in Gujarat. We humbly accept the verdict of the people of Gujarat, and we'll continue working in the state of Gujarat. Number two, every party fights an election to win. Nobody fights an election to lose. Nobody likes losing. Am I super happy? No. But the good part is that we got 13% of vote share in our first serious outing in the state. We won 5 seats. 41 lakh Gujarati voters voted for us, and we've become a national party. The bad part, of course, is, and I concede, that the results are contrary to our aspirations, our expectations, our predictions, and our estimations. However, look, we started our journey in the year 2012.
Sure.
That at the time, all these people who were in power, whether they were in the Congress or in the BJP, they used to challenge us. They used to say, हिम्मत है तो पार्टी बनाओ, हिम्मत है तो चुनाव लड़ो, हिम्मत है तो चुनाव जीत कर दिखाओ. I think we've come a long way in the last 1 decade. We now have 2 successful governments in Delhi and in Punjab. We have 10 Rajya Sabha MPs.
Yeah.
We have 4 we had 4 Lok Sabha
fair
MPs.
enough, but
we have MLAs in Goa and Gujarat. We have the majority in municipal corporation in Delhi. We have majority in the Chandigarh corporation. We have 27 councillors in Surat. So I think we have come a long way from where we started.
But what would you make of, what would you make of the fact that we just had, Darshana Ben Jardosh, BJP minister, saying that what she referred to as T3 party, that there was a lot of hype. When you say that you're surprised or disappointed, the suggestion was that there was a lot of buzz in the air, but there was nothing seriously on the ground. You were coming in fairly late into this campaign. The leadership, the grassroots network, etc., may not have matched the kind of hype that was being generated by you.
Look, for all these months in the run-up to the Gujarat elections, Vasu, and since you travel the state, you know this very well, leaders of the BJP were literally hoping for the Congress to do well, because they were afraid that if AAP does well, if AAP does exceedingly well or becomes runner-up or perhaps even clocks a majority figure, then BJP's fortress will be under threat. That was the sense, and BJP for the last so many weeks has just been attacking us, whether it's by use of the agencies or by their vicious propaganda, by the spokespersons, social media, so on and so forth. So the one party that they fear is the Aam Aadmi Party. The uprise of the Aam Aadmi Party certainly troubles the BJP, and you know the kind of statements that I've heard from JP Nadda Saab and others in the BJP today against the Aam Aadmi Party, I would only like to tell them that इतना भी गुमान ना कर अपनी जीत पे ए बेखबर, शहर में चर्चे हमारी हार की तेरी जीत से कहीं ज्यादा हैं.
But Raghav, just on this larger point, then on the the opposition unity in quotes, I put it here. The fact is that the opposition vote got divided in Gujarat, and if the opposition is really hoping to unite ahead of 2024, doesn't this election illustrate how difficult it is to defeat the BJP if you actually don't unite? Even if you did unite in Gujarat, by the way, you still would have lost because the BJP's win is so overwhelming. But you would have at least put up a fight.
Look, of course, BJP is a formidable election machine. There is no doubt in that, and BJP has the momentum going for it in certain states. But at the same time, BJP hasn't done well in many states. Let's take the example of Punjab. BJP, despite fighting the election in the 2022 assembly polls with all its might, got only 2 assembly seats. In Kerala, they don't have a presence. In Andhra, they don't have a presence. In Tamil Nadu, they have no presence. Yet the Prime Minister and Home Minister and everyone extensively campaign and try to build party and the cadre. So I think there are several states in this country where BJP is yet to open its account. But yes, in certain parts of North India, Central India, BJP in the Hindi heartland in particular is a formidable election machine. And I think it takes a lot to take on the BJP. You really need the fire in the belly to take on the BJP. And very few parties have this. On this national party bit, let me very briefly point out, Vasu, that a lot of political parties are craving to become a national party. And you know, whether it's the party of Mulayam Singh Yadav, Nitish Kumar, Lalu Prasad Yadav, Chandrababu Naidu, MK Stalin, KCR, none of these parties and none of these leaders are national parties. It's only a handful select parties that have got this status. So I think in the last one decade, AAP has come a long way.
Okay, Dorab has a question, yes.
Mr. Chadda, there's also another state where you fought, which is Himachal. It's close to Punjab, so you are near home in a state that should won. What do you think of the performance there? How would you rate the performance there of the party? I mean, does it meet your expectations? Or not?
Well, they got 0 seats.
You weren't willing to be number one, Ramsey. Did it meet your expectations, or did it fall short?
Deposit, they have not got even the deposits.
Well, I didn't participate in the Himachal election. I was made co-in charge for the state of Gujarat, and therefore it would I can't comment on what exactly transpired in the state. Where did we lag? But of course, the results in Himachal are not up to our expectation, and we would have certainly wanted the results to be much better. But having said that, look, before BJP is handed over these bragging rights and they fly too high, let me remind them that 3 elections happened in the month of December and November 2022. The Himachal Pradesh election, the MCD election and the Gujarat election. BJP has managed to win only 1 and has lost 2. And it has won only that election, which has been a fortress for the BJP. And yet, a small party, a poor party has managed to enter the fortress. Perhaps next time we will win the fortress, but we've managed to arrive at the fortress and give a fight to the BJP.
All right. Okay.
Raghav Chadha, thanks very much. Live to fight another day, as we say. Thanks very much for joining us. And now we're moving on to the Congress. Vasu, Pawan Khera, who's the head of the Congress's media department, senior leader, joining us now on NDTV. So Pawan Khera, a bittersweet day. I'll begin with the good news first. Himachal, which I think you look relieved that, now that you've touched 40 and, you're not flying your MLAs to resorts, etc. Can I ask you, Pawan?
Poor MLAs, they were hoping.
They were hoping to go to a resort in Raipur, but it didn't work out that way. Pawan, what went right in Himachal And, what are the lessons the Congress can take away from the way it ran that Himachal campaign? It was there, it wasn't as widely publicized perhaps, but it was there. You had your leaders on the ground. So, what lessons do you take away from that victory?
Victories and defeats both have lessons for respective parties, no doubt about that. I think what went right was that we had a compact team working there. We had our state leaders in place. There were no major differences, and I guess the campaign was also quite compact, very neat, compact campaign. Gujarat, a larger state, several contradictions which had to be managed. It has several leaders. We have a problem of plenty in several states, including Gujarat. So I guess we need to analyze every seat in Gujarat and figure out what went right, what went wrong. I know you are more interested in talking about Gujarat than Himachal, and I don't blame you for that. So I'm ready to talk about
That's not fair. I asked you about Himachal first.
Well, obviously, Pawan, you know why. It's because of the political importance and the symbolism and the significance of Gujarat. But also, Pawan, because, and we were talking about this in the afternoon as well, this is not a today crisis. This is a crisis of 30 years of a party that has steadily been in free fall, building up to this point. You can say, okay, maybe 5-10 years, you ride it out, you hit a bad cycle. This is not a cycle. This is now endemic. Surely you have to acknowledge that this is not something when you say we do introspection.
No, I understand, Vasu, where you're coming from. But it's not a free fall. Last election, we did exceedingly well. Even you weren't expecting us to get 77 seats. So, well, it's a graph which is not steadily declining. It went up, it came down, it will definitely go up, and who knows what happens tomorrow. But yes, it is symbolic, it's very important, but seeing the Prime Minister of India on the roads of the capital celebrating the defeat of Himachal, the defeat of all the by-elections, I don't know what was he celebrating. So he belongs to the entire country, he forgets. He's just celebrating victory in Gujarat, or was he also celebrating the defeat of Nadda's home state? I don't know. Or celebrating the defeat. Celebrating the defeat.
Give a chance at least to defend what for the celebration was. First of all, let me tell you, Mr. Khera, this is not a celebration only. This is not a celebration only for Gujarat. In Himachal, our vote percentage is also extremely well. It is not that we have been thrown out by the Himachal people like we have been thrown out in Gujarat. So we celebrate and we congratulate, PM has congratulated the Himachal people for giving a very commendable percentage of votes, and we bear the responsibility over there as the opposition also.
Okay, one second.
But Gujarat is again created a history in the political history of India after the left front in West Bengal. So we should have enough reason to be celebrated today.
Okay. Pawan, yes, respond to that. Go ahead.
That's a tad unfair to me. You have Raghav Chadda doing a one-on-one, who has definitely less seats in Gujarat than Congress. I don't understand why this kind of a treatment for Congress. I was told by your channel that this would be a one-on-one. Tell me it's a debate, I'll send a spokesperson.
No, one-on-one.
No, it's not fair. Vasu, it's not fair on the way you've conducted yourself today. But anyway, go ahead, ask me.
Sorry, Pawan, just to, I mean, it's a, the program is kind of
No,
flowing.
I saw you had the BJP spokesperson one-on-one.
There's no
have Raghav
conspiracy.
Chadda one-on-one. You have somebody countering me just because I am questioning the Prime Minister's roadshow, celebrating Himachal's defeat.
No,
There's
no conspiracy here. There's no conspiracy here.
Please
but Pawan,
accept my protest.
All right, let's move on from this. Pawan, just to ask you, you're very much front and center in the Bharat Jodo Yatra at the moment. And a big question is, I remember you were there at the Congress headquarters in 2017. You were pointing out how the party fought that election in Gujarat and fought it well to restrict the BJP to 99. Now, what do you think went wrong in, between 2017 and 2022? You had Hardik, the big three. You had Hardik, you had Alpesh, you had Jignesh. Now only Jignesh remains. The other two went to the BJP. So how did things unravel in the last 5 years?
Yeah, definitely the other two went to the BJP, but we now have Anant Patel we have Lalit Siroya, we have several young leaders who are there now. And I think the second line of leadership in Gujarat is ready. By the time you reach the next election, this leadership you will see will deliver. There are times when changes need to be made. And we did introduce those changes. Of course, people take time in accepting the new leaders, and they will accept the new leaders. What went wrong? Of course, it can't be answered in one television show. It needs deliberations, it needs analysis, seat by seat analysis. Yes, we were fighting the BJP and its two allies, the Aam Aadmi Party and the AMIM. We were in the reckoning on 119 seats, but the Aam Aadmi Party fought on 36 seats seriously because we were on number 2 on 119 seats, and on 17 seats we were number 1. So we are analyzing every seat, and we'll come back to you with our analysis.
No, but you know, there was an interesting data point that Vasu actually pointed out, Pawan, which was that actually Rahul Gandhi in 2017 did around 30 rallies more than 30 rallies in Gujarat. Right, and it was a very aggressive campaign. This time he
visited something like 12 temples.
Yeah, so this time he wasn't there except for one day. So why is that?
Different leaders are undertaking different responsibilities in the party. Rahul Gandhi currently is undertaking the Bharat Jodo Yatra, which of course is by far the most important and significant milestone of our party's recent history. So I won't say, two templates also can't be compared. The 2017 template was different. This template was different, where we were focusing more on our groundwork and booth management. So we'll analyze what went wrong in that and how our communication. I must concede that we did not spend the kind of money the other two rivals were spending on publicity, on advertisement. We don't have that kind of money, and that's a constraint that we will have to live with and fight under the constraint. And we will do that.
Okay.
All right, Pawan Khera, thanks very much. So congratulations for Himachal. Let us see how the introspection goes for Gujarat and for the rest of the road ahead. Nalini Singh, so let's get last comments from everyone, because everyone's been suffering with us since 7 in the morning.
No, we have actually several more pads. We have Shama Mohammed.
Yeah, so because by the time we get everyone on air, it will be last comments time. But Nalini Singh, okay, like if you have to summarize today, what would that be? The big takeaway.
Musically.
Would you like to sing it to us? The one takeaway, we were discussing this, is that the Aam Aadmi Party got what it wanted. It didn't get, it certainly didn't get the stars, but it's launched itself. It got what it wanted. That's one takeaway. The other one is that the Prime Minister, I have to say very modestly, humbly spoke my language. I always say vote share. Today he came up and said, and there was pain in his voice when he said we only lost by 0.9%. Then he said 1%. 1% से हमने ये हिमाचल खो दिया. So I would say that if we can focus on vote share, and when Raghav Chadha was saying that 41 lakh Gujaratis stood in line and voted for us, there's something to that. So vote share, and that actually governments should now be looking at whether whether there's proportional representation in government. The last thing, Vasu, that you're saying, you're threatening this, the last comment, is that part.
No, there will be time for more comments.
But
we still have half an hour left.
But I do want to say that when a party has been in power for 3 decades, 2.5 to 3 decades, take West Bengal and the left. Yes. Take Naveen Patnaik, who's been there maybe 2.5 decades. Take BJP in Gujarat. I'll tell you what, it is very difficult to believe that they do not finally know how to run the elections, and you know what I mean. So I think that there should be something which bars parties from from 2.5, 3 decades, etc.
No, come on, that's
all right.
You can't have a cap on democracy.
I just want to point out
you can't have a cap on democracy. Okay, we need to go to the others. We need to go to the others.
BJP in Odisha is much different.
Okay, we need to go to the others.
27 years in Gujarat is far different.
Okay, development models of the Congress is here with us. Okay, one at a time. Shama Mohammed of the Congress. The point is that when you have a party in power for that long, again, great job flipping Himachal, but in Gujarat, the BJP was vulnerable. you could go there, you could hear voices of people who are upset about a range of things, price rise, exam paper leak, etc., etc., to not be able to actually have a situation where they improve their seat. You actually had come right up in 2017 and now they're sitting at close to 160. Surely that's quite a fiasco, Shama Mahmood.
Yeah, so before I come to that, please tell your producer that when people are there from morning, don't tell them 9 and then call them at 9:30. If it's at 9:30, say 9:30, not 9 o'clock. You know, all of us are tired. We've had our day, but please tell this to your producer. I'm telling you on live.
Fair enough.
The other thing I want to say about Gujarat, I've said it in the morning also. This is more a Congress loss than a BJP win, because after 27 years of anti-incumbency, and if they win like this, definitely the strategy which we put in this time, the silent campaign, did not work at all. And let's all not forget that the last election which we had in 2017, Rahul Gandhi, as Pawan also said, was very, very active. And every time fingers are pointed at him, but he was the president of the party. Mr. Kharge is also the president now. He's been very active. But when Rahul Gandhi was the president, yes, there was a very aggressive campaign. And I'm going to say with all honesty that we do miss Rahul Gandhi campaigning there. And I'm sure if he did campaign, we would have done much better. But of course,
why didn't he?
That's what I'm coming to say. He's a very committed man. He committed to Bharat Jodo, which is a national movement. And if he goes out of the schedule, it will disturb. Can I see? Listen, stop laughing. All right, I'm saying something. I'm not interrupting you.
No. Go ahead, Shama. Go ahead.
So there is. I'm saying it very this thing, but and he couldn't because he's committed. We have a schedule. I have done the walk. 532 kilometers with Rahul Gandhi, morning and night, the whole time from Kanyakumari to Kerala. It's a tough one. Let me finish one more very important point.
You can stop, you can pause, you can fight a crucial election and go back to the yatra. There's nothing to prevent you from doing that.
That's what I'm trying. I think even Pawan said that. See, what happens in this yatra is there are a lot of things involved. It's not just that we have these containers. There are 100 yatris along with Rahul Gandhi staying in these containers.
Sure, but
the Pradesh Yatra, it's a very complicated. It's not just 5-6 people walking. It's a big thing. The other thing I want to point out today is when there is a victory of Mr. Modi, there's a grand celebration in Gujarat. Then I believe Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister of the country, should take responsibility of Himachal. And when West Bengal also happened, he never takes responsibility for a loss. And Rahul Gandhi, to his credit, took responsibility for 2019 and resigned. Let's not forget that. Give it to Rahul Gandhi when you have to give it to him. Okay. But here I see the Prime Minister, a man of spine, they say, then, a great leader.
Okay, let the BJP respond to that.
Allow me, because I was smiling, laughing, and the reason was that your leaders see that winning the election is not very important, but covering 1,000 kilometers is more important. That may be your strategy. But let me tell you what Mr. Modi wants. Even today, you have followed Mr. Modi's speech. He has told that we will be doing the service in the same importance to Himachal people.
No, but does he take responsibility for the Himachal defeat? When he takes credit for the victory, does he have to take responsibility for the defeat?
Has given his best of the wishes to the Himachal people and undertake the responsibility of a responsible opposition. And being at center, he has assured that growth and the development of the state will not be compromised. Is that not a commitment? You always want very sorry.
Is that a favor? Is that not what the central government should be doing for the entire country?
This is a normal perception.
Himachal is not a foreign country.
When you lose an election, you also lose the concentration on that particular state. That's
really?
what is.
That's what I don't think so. That's news to me. That's news to me.
Reiterated, my responsibility as a Prime Minister will be untouched and will be sure. So that's what he has reiterated.
Then perhaps we shouldn't talk about double engine all the time.
Yeah.
Because there should be no double
when
engine.
we are doing the campaign, we must see both sides, the flip
India
side
is
also.
one engine. We are the big engine.
Double engine is a concept of the state and the center. In Indian constitution, it is always state and center responsibility.
But double engine means favoritism. It seems to suggest if you elect the same party at the center and state,
that may not be
greater benefit will flow to you.
Again, I refuse. Double engine is more powerful than a single engine. So when the compartments are 24, is a huge country. The two engines should be better than one engine. That's what it's a more powerful resources to carry on.
Yes, Lalita
Yeah,
ji, go
Lalita
ahead.
ji, yes, and we'll come to
Double
Naresh
engine
also, coming to you,
depends on the
Naresh.
way, Vasu, double engine depends, the way you interpret it depends on the way that you look at it. We all know just how much the NDTV and all of you love the BJP, so you want to criticize Modi, that's fine. When he spoke today to the workers of the people, of the BJP in today's evening's meeting, I listened to part of it. I don't think he took credit for anything. In fact, he kept on congratulating the workers, Karyakarta. He spoke in Hindi as he normally does, and he kept on
he should take credit for Gujarat.
Nadda.
But he should take credit for there is all credit to him. I think the question that Shama posed was that if the BJP credits Gujarat to Mr. Modi, should it also not take responsibility for the defeat in Himachal?
Maybe he is not the party president, he is the Prime Minister of India. If it's a national election and you say he needs to take
But his face was on all the campaigns. He led from the front. He led from the front in Himachal just like
Nadda.
Okay.
Despite
in this crucial juncture, he has remembered, make the common party then remember their duties and responsibilities under the present situation, that swaying away in Gujarat they should not forget about their responsibilities as a party worker. That's what you mean to say.
You know, to reinvent or think about how they lost, why they lost, etc.
All right, Naresh Arora
I don't think it's the responsibility of anybody from the BJP. That's up to the Congress. How they
Can I comment please
their
now?
loss is their business.
Okay, just one second. Let's go across to someone who's not spoken at all.
I'm not calling any Congress leaders any names. But
All right,
I
Naresh.
do wish, as somebody who actually even has family in the Congress and worked in Himachal Pradesh, that Rahul Gandhi perhaps should have paid more attention to the elections.
Okay, Naresh Arora is with us. He's Naresh. Okay, Lalita ji, can we move on? All right, Naresh, let's allow us to move. Naresh Arora is with us. He's with Design Box. It's a political strategic consultancy. He's working with the Congress right now. Naresh, in Karnataka, as well, or other states, it's interesting in a way, because if you look at what's happening with the Congress, it's almost like they skipped an election. They jumped over Gujarat and went, and there's been more election activity in Karnataka, Telangana than there has been in Gujarat. When you were watching from Karnataka, Naresh, was it like watching a train wreck, like slow motion, unfold in Gujarat?
Vasu, I would like to say one thing first before I answer your question, because since morning we've been hearing this a lot about the other parties having more resources and other parties having more machinery at their command. I think that if they could do it in Himachal, they could have done it in Gujarat or any other state as well. It is about their confidence. It is about their will. It is about that how much do they want, how much hunger do they have in their belly to achieve a victory or to put up a contest. In Gujarat, as we have been hearing since morning, I would not want to repeat anything on that there was a no contest. And I would tell you one very surprising thing, according to me, that when people, or we were on ground in Gujarat, and because I come from Gujarat a bit, I know a little bit more about Gujarat than other states, that people were more angry with Congress than with the BJP, despite of a lot of anti-incumbency. Because they were of the opinion that in 3 decades, they have not been able to put up a show to confront a party which has been doing whatever they have been wanting to do.
Right.
Yes, point taken that they have a lot of machinery, they have a lot of cadre, they have a lot of other backups, but you have to put up a contest. If anyone can from outside, from Delhi or selling Delhi model can come and put up a contest, at least for the contest
I think that's a great point.
13% in a first election is not
in fact, Naresh Arora, would you say that from a strategic point of view, the perception that you've abandoned the battlefield for a political party, does that not totally misfire with voters?
No, see, we did not abandon.
Sorry. Well, you did. You didn't fight Gujarat.
Let me
ask Mr. Arora that, Shama. 1 second.
Oh, it's not me. Sorry.
Naresh Arora, yes.
Of course it does. I would just take you back a little bit in 2018 elections when Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh were going to polls. Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan being the more glamorous and the more talked about states, Chhattisgarh was the state where the biggest victory was delivered by Congress party based on the effort that they were putting in. The challenge was insurmountable there also. It is about how much they want to go about it. And if
in Karnataka, where you are, but in Karnataka, you're saying, but there's a fight there. I mean, that effort is going on, is it?
Yeah, of course it is. But having said that, it requires a collective effort in a consistent manner. You cannot buy time with money. You cannot wake up in last 20 days and put up an election fight and expect to win every time. 9 times out of 10 you are going to lose and lose very badly.
No, so that's the point, Shama, because this has become a Congress talking point. We don't have the resources, we don't...
Bharat Jodo actually proves you do.
You
can do it.
You do have resources, you do have the cadre, you have a presence, you win 40% of the vote, in Gujarat over...
What they don't have is the leadership.
You just walked away from all that.
Okay, let me just... No, I agree there is fault on our side, no denying the fact. I said that when I started the debate, 27 years anti-incumbency, and if they can win this number of seats, it's not done. But at the same time, they tried UCC in Himachal. It did not work because it's not a polarized state. You see, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh are the Hindutva laboratories. Let's not forget it. Can you imagine Bilkis Banu, the man who said those rapists cannot be Brahmins? They're sanskari, So that man has won. They have released, this time the rapists of Bilkis Banu. One of them daughters was also stood up for the election, and the father was campaigning. You don't see this anywhere else.
But I'm saying that despite all that, you were able to get to 77 in 2017, which shows you that the party is vulnerable. You didn't capitalize on that anyway.
No, it's a silent campaign which we did this time, which is very wrong. The strategy.
This silent campaign, with all respect.
We should have done what we did last time. That is what went wrong. And I admit, see, what about Himachal?
You're so silent that I don't think
Priyanka Gandhi was there throughout in Himachal, and she did a good job.
Okay, Reena Gupta wants to come in.
So the point that I wanted to make was that for us, Gujarat was a very new state. And with our limited resources, we've managed to get 13% vote share. We've come number 2 in 35 plus seats. I think it's a very good beginning for us in Gujarat. If you look at Bharatiya Janata Party, I think we give more credit to Bharatiya Janata Party than it's due. If you look at their performance in, say, states like Andhra and Tamil Nadu, in Tamil Nadu they started contesting from 1980s. And till 2021, they've hardly managed to get 2% vote share and 4 seats. In Andhra in 2019, they contested all the seats. They lost their deposits, hardly 2% vote share and no seats. Okay. So I think the fact that Aam Aadmi Party has made such a good beginning in Gujarat is the big story today. And I'm very sure that next time around in Gujarat, we are going to do very well and we should be able to defeat Bharatiya Janata Party.
All right, we're going to leave it at that for the moment with our panel, but we'd like to play out a couple of important interviews for you. The first is from Hardik Patel, who of course famously crossed from the Congress into the BJP, and he has won his seat today. He led the Patidar agitation, which gave the BJP so much grief back in 2015. He spoke to our colleague Sohit Mishra. We'll come back after that for the second interview. Listen to what Hardik had to say.
गुजरात में जहां पर एक बार फिर से बीजेपी की रिकॉर्ड वापसी हुई है, तो वहीं इस पर हमारे साथ बात करने के लिए विधायक हार्दिक पटेल मौजूद हैं। हार्दिक जी, सबसे पहले ढेरों शुभकामनाएं। आप पहली बार चुनाव लड़े और किस तरह से इस जीत को देखते हैं और इसका श्रेय किसे देते हैं?
देखिए, मैंने पहले भी कहा कि ये जीत मेरी नहीं है, ये जीत विरमगांव के 3 लाख मतदाताओं की है, जो उम्मीद रखते हैं मुझसे कि मैं विकास का यहाँ पर काम करूँ। तो निश्चित रूप से मुझे उस उम्मीद पर अब खरा उतरना है। ये जीत देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी के कामों पर है। ये जीत निश्चित रूप से कश्मीर से धारा 370 हटा के वहाँ के हिंदुओं को सुरक्षित करने वाला अमित भाई शाह की है। ये जीत हमारे राज्य के डाउन टू अर्थ रहे मुख्यमंत्री और लगातार एकदम ग्राउंड लेवल पर लोगों की मदद करने का काम करते ऐसे भूपेंद्र भाई पटेल की है। ये जीत आक्रामक प्रदेश अध्यक्ष सी आर पाटिल की है।
अच्छा, अब इसके आगे के चैलेंजेस क्या हैं आपके लिए? 10 साल से यहाँ पर, जब हम उस दिन भी बात कर रहे, आपने कहा कि 10 साल से काम नहीं हुए। इसे एक रिपोर्ट कार्ड के तौर पर सोचिए, जिसे हम 5 साल बाद वापस आपसे पूछेंगे कौन से ऐसे काम है जो आप करने वाले हैं।
मेरा मैनिफेस्टो पूरे गुजरात में 182 असेंबली सीटों में किसी ने नहीं बनाया था, मैंने बनाया है। हाँ। वो मैनिफेस्टो आप अपने पास रखिए, जब 5 साल के बाद आए तो मुझसे उसमें सवाल पूछिएगा कि मैंने कितने काम किए कितने नहीं किए। मैं तो काम करने में मानता हूँ और इसीलिए मैंने विजय सरघस नहीं निकाला, क्योंकि विजय सरघस निकाल के मैं पब्लिक को परेशान करना नहीं चाहता रास्ते में। तो मैं तो नई जनरेशन का नौजवानों की कुछ करके दिखाऊं, कुछ नए विजन के साथ आऊँ, बस उसी विजन पे मुझे काम करना है।
ठीक है, मुख्य चीजें हार्दिक, एक दो चीजें जो मुख्य हो जिस पर आपका फोकस ज्यादा होगा विरमगाम की अगर
मेरी असेंबली में विरमगाम तहसील जो है उसको जिला बनाया जाए।
हाँ।
मेरे तीनों असेंबली के तीनों तहसीलों में स्पोर्ट्स कॉम्प्लेक्स बनाया जाए।
हाँ।
और अग्निपथ इतनी बड़ी और बेहतरीन योजना जो आई है,
हाँ।
तो उसके लिए नौजवानों को आर्मी में जाने के लिए ट्रेनिंग सेंटर जैसा ग्राउंड तैयार हो जहां वो आर्मी की तैयारी कर सके। तो फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी ये है। और नलकांठा का जो इलाका है वहाँ 12 गाँव में अच्छे पानी पहुँचे किसानों के। 12 गाँव की भौगोलिक स्थिति थोड़ी अलग है जिसके कारण वहाँ पानी नहीं पहुँच रहा, तो वहाँ पानी पहुँचे, बस वही मेरी प्राथमिकता है।
चलिए, बीजेपी की अगर बात करें, जिस दिन मैं आपसे बात भी कर रहा था आपने कहा था 150 से ज्यादा सीटें आएंगी और वही हुआ है। क्या मुख्य वजह है इन सीट की इतनी सीटें आने की? रिकॉर्ड सीटें इतनी अभी तक नहीं आई थी। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी भी यहाँ के मुख्यमंत्री तब भी इतनी सीटें नहीं आई।
मैंने कहा था कि 150 से अधिक सीट आएगी।
हाँ।
उसके पीछे का रीजन है कि विपक्षी पार्टी लगातार लोगों को गुमराह कर रही है, लगातार गुजरात की अस्मिता और गौरव के खिलाफ काम कर रही है। तो ऐसे समय में लोगों को लगता है कि विपक्ष की भूमिका भी अदा नहीं कर सकती, तो ऐसे विपक्ष की जरूरत कहाँ? जो सत्ता लगातार लोगों को मदद कर रही है, विभिन्न योजनाओं को लोगों तक पहुंचा रही है, तो अगर यही काम हो रहा है तो फिर सत्ता को और मजबूत किया जाए। इसी कारण 150 से अधिक सीटें आई है।
चलिए, अब आपसे कांग्रेस पर भी सवाल पूछेंगे। कुछ महीने पहले तक आप थे, कांग्रेस की ये रिकॉर्ड हार भी है। अगर बीजेपी के रिकॉर्ड जीते तो उसकी वजह क्या मानते हैं?
अब वो तो कांग्रेस को आप पूछिएगा तो क्योंकि मैं कांग्रेस का हिस्सा नहीं हूँ।
लेकिन क्योंकि आपने जब छोड़ा था तब भी कहा था।
मैंने अभी कहा तो सही कि जो गुजरात की अस्मिता और गौरव के खिलाफ काम करेगा उसको गुजरात के लोग क्यों पसंद करेंगे? अब कांग्रेस की क्यों हार हुई वो आप कांग्रेस को पूछिएगा, राहुल गांधी को पूछिए, गुजरात के नेताओं को पूछिए, मुझे क्यों पूछ रहे हैं आप?
चलिए, आखिरी सवाल। हार्दिक, आप एक युवा नेता हैं, एक युवा विधायक हैं, और ऐसे में अब इसके आगे आप क्या भविष्य देखते हैं? जब कैबिनेट एक्सपेंशन होगा, क्या ऐसी कोई उम्मीदें हैं या इसे लेकर कोई चर्चा होगी? आगे के लिए क्या कुछ किया जाएगा? क्या बतौर कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर हमें हार्दिक पटेल नजर आएंगे?
देखिए, मैं कभी भी अपेक्षाओं पे काम नहीं करता, मैं मेरिट पे काम करता हूँ। मैं कभी मांगता नहीं हूँ, मैं अपना मेरिट दिखाता हूँ और उसी पर मुझे पार्टी जो भी देना चाहे दे सकती है। जब मुझे यहाँ चुनाव लड़ने के लिए बोला गया तो मैंने एक भी आर्गुमेंट नहीं की थी कि आप मुझे यहाँ से क्यों लड़ा रहे। मैंने मेहनत की और मैंने अपने आप को प्रूव किया, और 10 साल के बाद यहाँ से बीजेपी जीती है। बीजेपी जीती है तो उसमें यहाँ के मतदाताओं का और देश के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी का महत्वपूर्ण योगदान रहा है। क्यों? क्योंकि लोगों को लगता है कि ये नौजवान है और मोदी साहब जिस हिसाब से विकास के कार्यों में माहिर है, तो नौजवानों को आगे भेजा जाए। तो मैं अपना मेरिट दिखाऊंगा, पार्टी जो भी मुझे कहेगी, मुझे जो करना है कि हार्दिक तुम्हें ये करना है तो मैं वो काम करूंगा। मैं तो जब पार्टी ज्वाइन की तब मैंने कहा था कि मैं तो एक छोटी सी भूमिका में काम करना चाहता हूँ, वो भूमिका कोई भी होगी मैं काम करूंगा।
चलिए, तो जो भी भूमिका होगी वो काम हार्दिक पटेल करेंगे। आपको हम बता दें कि इस जीत के बाद अपने क्षेत्र में हार्दिक पटेल अलग अलग जगहों पर जा रहे हैं। हार्दिक, ऐसे कितने गांव हैं जिसे आप कवर करेंगे और कहां कहां पर? हमने देखा इससे पहले भी भीड़, मतलब मैं आपको बताऊं 1-1.5 घंटे पहले से वहां पर भीड़ जमा होनी शुरू हो गई थी। ऐसे कितने, क्या पूरे क्षेत्र को आप कवर करना हो?
नहीं, मेरी जिम्मेवारी है कि जब मैं वोट मांगने गाँव जा रहा हूँ तो फिर मुझे आभार मानने के लिए भी गाँव जाना चाहिए। मैं यंग हूँ इसलिए कुछ नया सोचता हूँ, कुछ नया करता हूँ कि लोगों के बीच जाऊँ, कुछ नई चीजें करूँ। और इसीलिए मैंने ये तय किया कि भाई जिस दिन चुनाव जीते तो उस दिन तीनों तहसीलों के प्रमुख मंदिरों में जाके वहाँ के कार्यकर्ताओं से एक बार मिल लेना चाहिए। और अभी 4-5 दिन के बाद पूरी असेंबली में आभार यात्रा निकालूंगा, गाँव जाऊँगा, लोगों से बातचीत करूँगा, उनका आभार व्यक्त करूँगा, उनकी समस्याओं को समझूंगा और साथ में ही मैं जो भी हमारा यहाँ का कलेक्टर वगैरह जो भी होगा उसको साथ रख के उनकी समस्याओं पर समाधान हो जल्द से जल्द, उसके लिए काम करेंगे।
चलिए, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया एक्सक्लूसिवली एनडीटीवी से बात करने के लिए।
Hardik Patel speaking to my colleague Sohit Mishra there, and we leave you with this interview tonight of Akhilesh Yadav, the Samajwadi Party chief, who spoke to my colleague Alok Pandey. It was a mixed bag in the by-poll results that also came out today. The Samajwadi Party lost a key assembly by-poll in Rampur. It's the very first time that seat has been won by the BJP today. In fact, Akhilesh Yadav is alleging that this was not a fair poll and has said that his party is asking the Election Commission for a repoll. His wife Dimple, however, has very comfortably won the Lok Sabha by-poll of Mainpuri.
Akhilesh Yadav, the president of the Samajwadi Party, joins us here. So how do you view the victory for Mainpuri? It's been a very big margin also.
मैं सबसे पहले मैनपुरी लोकसभा के सभी मतदाताओं का धन्यवाद देता हूं। मैनपुरी के मतदाताओं ने नेताजी को ये सच्ची श्रद्धांजलि दी है। ये एक तरफ जहां समाजवादी पार्टी को जिताया है, वहीं भारतीय जनता पार्टी की जो नकारात्मक राजनीति है उसको पराजित करने का काम मतदाताओं ने किया है। मतदाताओं ने जो मतदान किया और ऐतिहासिक जीत दिलाई है, उससे समाजवादी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता और समाजवादी आंदोलन को ऊर्जा मिलेगी।
Are you also happy that your uncle has patched up, it seems, in a final manner with you, with him merging his party into yours?
मुझे खुशी है इस बात की कि हमारे चाचा की पार्टी अब समाजवादी पार्टी के साथ है और उनके कार्यकर्ता नेता मिलकर के समाजवादी आंदोलन को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। इसी तरह प्रयास रहेगा कि लोगों को जोड़ें और इस आंदोलन को और आगे बढ़ाएं।
What about the defeat in Rampur, a seat where the Samajwadi Party has been winning for a long time and Azam Khan has been winning for an even longer time?
दुख इस बात का है कि बार-बार शिकायत करने के बाद भी इलेक्शन कमीशन को जो कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए थी वो प्रशासन के ऊपर कार्रवाई नहीं हुई। सरकार ये नहीं चाहती थी कि आदरणीय आजम खान साहब वहाँ जीतें, इसीलिए उन्होंने फोर्स को लगाया और इतना फोर्स लगाया कि वोट नहीं लोग डाल पाए। ये पहली बार नहीं हुआ। जब लोकसभा का बाई इलेक्शन हुआ उस समय भी प्रशासन ने वोट नहीं डालने दिया। कहीं ना कहीं इलेक्शन कमीशन को ये देखना चाहिए और रामपुर का चुनाव दोबारा होना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो इस बात को देखें कि क्या कारण रहा। जिन बूथों पे हमेशा समाजवादी पार्टी को अच्छे वोट मिलते थे वहां फोर्स ज्यादा लगाया गया, सेंसिटिव घोषित किए गए, लोग अगर बाहर निकले तो उन्हें पीटा गया, पुलिस ने मारा, उनको घर में बंद कर दिया, कईयों के चोट आई है, कईयों के हाथ टूटे हैं, बहुत सारे लोगों को गाली गलौज अपमानित होना पड़ा है। ये अगर इलेक्शन कमीशन नहीं देखेगा तो हम किस पे भरोसा करेंगे। और लोकतंत्र को बचाने के लिए मैं समझता हूँ इलेक्शन कमीशन को निष्पक्ष होकर के कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए और रामपुर का चुनाव दोबारा हो।
Will you go to the election commission with this demand?
राष्ट्रीय प्रमुख महासचिव ने पत्र लिख करके कहा है कि वहां पर चुनाव फेयर नहीं हुआ है, प्रशासन ने और पुलिस ने मिलकर के चुनाव हराया है, इसलिए चुनाव दोबारा होना चाहिए।
Thank you so much. So there you have it, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav here, saying that they want a re-election in Rampur because they feel that it's not been fair. With Arshad Jamal and Rajesh Gupta, Alok Pandey, NDTV.